Carly never mentioned you were coming over.
Well, Carly took pity on me and invited me to spend the evening with her family. But look, if I'm intruding,
You're not intruding. We have plenty of food, and no one should be alone on Christmas Eve.
Let me take your coat.
Thank you. You failed to mention the dress code.
Well, there are two very excited little girls with lots of stickers upstairs that are waiting for you.
You sure about this?
Where do I even start with this? The magic between him and Carly. What a spectacle. Truly, it's the stuff of legends. If the legends were about people who couldn't keep their hands off each other for 5 minutes. As for Willow, I can't see her getting a single penny of Michael's money in a divorce. Prenup or no prenup, the woman was unfaithful. I mean, that's illegal in several states, right? Not that it'll matter, but it's a nice thought. If Michael's smart, he'll pack up, head to court for full custody of the kids, and then leave town. Leave on a high note, make a dramatic exit. He can always come back later. After all, he'd be leaving on good terms, which is more than most people can say. As for Willow, it's time to figure out her priorities. Because, spoiler alert, it sure wasn't her husband or her kids. At this point, she's all about anything but those two. On a completely unrelated note, I have to ask the GH veterans, what was Jason Quartermain like before the accident? I was too young to catch that, but any insight would be appreciated. Thank you in advance. And can we talk about how DOD now stands for Dawn of Drew? Because let's face it, Shiloh may have been the leader, but now it's Drew. And don't get me started on Nina, she's no better than Harmony. Willow's still stuck in the same cult mindset, just in case anyone was wondering. Sasha and Cody Bell. Well, I guess she's getting a free pass, especially since she can't get pregnant again. Nice for her, I suppose. And can we please talk about how it took Dex's death for Jocelyn to finally make peace with Sunny? Like seriously, it's been years of complaints, but now finally she's not griping about Sunny anymore. About time, really. Sunny's always had her back, whether she likes it or not. As for Michael, I don't think he'll be the next victim. GH wouldn't dare take another child away from Sunny and Carly. If I had to guess, though, maybe it'll be TA. Who knows? But let's not forget, Willow? Yeah, she was in a cult and was probably taught all the best manipulation tricks. It's possible she'll end up being one of the next victims. It wouldn't be a GH storyline without at least one shock death, right? Let's just buckle up, folks. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. So Willow had a moment, huh? You know that, oh, wait a minute, my husband just swooped in and took your company like that kind of moment? Power really does have a hold on people, and Willow's definitely a sucker for men who can flex it. Michael just went ahead and proved to her, and Drew, that he's that guy. Willow's probably already planning her big, teary-eyed return, begging Michael to take her back. And honestly, Michael's probably gonna do it, because he's just the type to love unconditionally. So much for learning from his mistakes, huh? Now, can we stop pretending we don't know who Gio's dad is? It's not Brooklyn. He knew his mother, and she died when he was 10. Maybe the better question is, who's your daddy? Also, I've been wondering this for a while, could easily Google it, but who's got the time? But why do Alexis and Rick still hate each other? I remember back in 2007 when Rick slept with Sam while Alexis was battling cancer, and they had that custody war over baby Molly, which I'm pretty sure Rick won at one point. But that's all ancient history at this point. Then Rick came back like a decade ago, got tangled up with the Jeromes, faked his death or whatever, and yeah, he's been mostly MIA in Molly's life lately, but that's also more recent history. So did Rick do something to her or Molly recently that I missed? During that time when Drew was Jake Doe, but supposedly Jason with amnesia, Rick was trying to break up Drew and Elizabeth, even bringing in Hayden Barnes to pretend to be Drew's wife. Seriously though, what is Alexis' problem with him? I don't remember their divorce being that messy. They moved on. Alexis hooked up with Sean. Rick had his thing with Claudia, and that was that. So why is she still acting like Rick's public enemy #1? Or is this just the writers deciding to make a mountain out of a molehill like they're doing with Drew and the Qs, or Drew and Jason, or Drew and Sunny? Anyone got the full story here? Or is this just another pointless drama they're trying to stretch out? I get that actors come and go, playing their characters for reasons we may never fully understand. But come on, it's been decades, and you'd think the writers would spend more than 5 minutes on character development at this point. It feels like they're rushing through everything, and honestly, it's hard to get invested when the changes are happening so fast. Like last year, I was all in on the Willow or Michael storyline when she was dealing with her illness. It had such depth, but now, suddenly she's got the hots for Drew? Seriously, writers? You didn't even give us time to see how that happened. Just a total letdown. And Willow? Let's talk about her for a second. She's too stubborn to admit she completely threw her marriage away for a womanizer like Drew. She's going to keep making excuses for staying with him and still blame Michael for everything. Classic. Drew, on the other hand, don't even get me started. Ever since Billy Miller played him, Drew had a conscience, especially when it came to Scout. But now, this Drew only cares about himself. He keeps making choices that pull him away from his daughter at the drop of a hat. And then he starts seducing his nephew's wife. Oh, and to make things worse, he's using the grief of Willow's daughter to manipulate her into sticking around. What happened to the Drew we used to know? This version is a total mess, and frankly, I'm done with him. Honestly, I don't even know who's writing for these characters anymore. It's like they've completely forgotten who we've been watching all these years. Yeah, I get it. It's a soap opera, and realism goes out the window. But come on, you can't treat your viewers like we're watching for the first time. I've been a loyal viewer for 50 years, and lately it's becoming a real struggle. And the Willow and Drew storyline? I just can't. I don't get why they're even together, especially with the dynamics between Michael and Drew. It's way too much, and honestly, it's just gross. And don't even get me started on killing off Sam. Not that I was a huge fan, but still, or now Dex, who's next? I do love that Lulu's back, but let's be real, the way they brought her back was a total letdown. How long did we have to wait for that? She deserved a better entrance. Also, Nina. The woman has wanted to be a mom for how long? Can we just let her be a mom already? She's a smart woman. Let her act like one. Christina, too. She could have been such a great character, but the writers don't give her enough to work with. The actress is talented. Let her use her brain. And Anna? I used to love her, but now she's just annoying. Especially with Jason. She whines and whines. Since when did she become such a goody two-shoes? It doesn't make sense that Jason can be okay to her, but Sunny isn't. If they put her with Jason, I might just be done with the show. Just my 2 cents. Merry Christmas. Oh, the canoodling on General Hospital has reached new levels of absurdity, hasn't it? At this point, why hasn't there been a storyline about all the STDs floating around? Seriously. And now that Chad Duell, Michael, is leaving, wouldn't it be the perfect exit for him to just take the kids and vanish to one of Sunny's private islands? No one would ever find them. Talk about a clean break. Let's talk about Willow for a second, shall we? How is it possible to have zero remorse? The woman's biggest concern is that Michael knew about her affair for days and didn't tell her, while completely ignoring the absolute emotional wreckage she caused him. She's sick, sure, but there's not even a hint of apology for Michael, only for Drew. It's like she doesn't even know how to act anymore. When the truth came out, she stood there stiff as a board, like someone programmed her to act that way. Any normal person would have broken down and apologized immediately, especially after being caught red-handed with another man in front of an entire room. And you know what? If Michael had done something to her, and this was her twisted way of getting back at him, At least that would make sense. But that's not the case, so yeah, just venting here. Now, onto some random thoughts. Don't hate me, but I have to say it. Alexa's Halloween costume. What was that? And how is it that Stina and Joss don't despise each other? Shouldn't they? Also, why does Drew look older than Rick? Like, what's going on there? And Willow and Nina. Ugh, they're almost as cringeworthy as Portia's entire family gathering. Seriously, Willow hating on Michael is making me want to scream. And don't even get me started on Felicia. She's giving off killer vibes. I mean, what if she is the killer? I'd kind of be okay with that, honestly. Also, why wouldn't Alexis and Molly just hop on a plane with Diane? I mean, that's exactly what I'd do. Tracy's conversation with Jason, though, she totally slayed it. As for Ava, absolute queen. Her outfit? Fire. Her hair? Gorgeous. Chef's kiss. Anyway, Merry Christmas, y'all. Cody, go chill with your cousin and get over it already. Let's get one thing straight. Nina might have been the one to suggest it, but Willow wanted to leave. She had plenty of chances to change her mind and stick around. When Carly tried to stop her, Willow acted all high and mighty, basically throwing a tantrum and saying she was leaving with her kids. End of story. Then when Michael showed up, she flipped the switch, put on her sweetest poor me face, and manipulated him into letting her walk out the door with the kids. But let's not kid ourselves. Willow was determined to go, no manipulation required. She wasn't dragged anywhere, she wanted this. She walked out on her own terms, kids in tow, because that's what she decided. Can we stop acting like Willow is some helpless little thing who can be swayed by a gust of wind? This is the same woman who managed to outwit and manipulate a cult leader, Shiloh, all on her own to escape and hide their child. And let's not forget, she managed to trick the cult into funding her education by convincing them it would make her a better teacher for their kids. She might have been groomed by Shiloh, but she's more than learned the art of manipulation from him. She's basically turned into a carbon copy of the guy. And speaking of chaos, let's talk about Dante and Brooklyn's kid. I'm pretty sure they have a son, and his name's Giovanni Gio, right? Can you just imagine the drama that's about to unfold when that little tidbit comes to light? Lulu is going to lose her mind. Now, on to Michael's exit. Here's my prediction. He'll probably go over to Nina's to talk to Willow, but surprise, surprise, she'll refuse to talk to him. Instead, he'll end up talking to Drew, or he might just go straight to Diane to get divorce papers ready. Either way, he's going to feel totally beaten down and will probably give up. He said it himself the other day, the kids need Willow, so he's going to think it's best to just leave town. That's his exit. Personally, I wish he'd give Carly Aurora and call it a day. Now, that would be a perfect ending. A scene from a few months ago really stuck with me. I know Wally and Rena were married in real life, but now they're divorced, so it was a bit strange seeing them share a wine glass together. Very awkward. I can only hope that Ned and Olivia can make it work. They remind me of Alan and Monica. Sure, they had their issues, but they stuck together. That was true love. Alan adopted Emily, Monica adopted Jason, and even Ned took in Leo. A real family. But seriously, what is going on with the writers lately? Are they on mushrooms or something? Did they lose their minds? I've been watching General Hospital since I was 9, and I'm 62 now, and I've never been this disappointed. Are they really trying to kill the show? First, it's Sam, then Dex. What's next? Jason might get kicked off again. Come on, get it together, General Hospital. You're about to lose a lot of viewers if this keeps up. And Michael, what is his deal? He's poured his heart out to his ex-girlfriend, the one he got pregnant while cheating, and to Chase, the guy he cheated with while married. He's even gone to Jason, probably hoping Jason would take out Drew for him. But has Michael had a real conversation with his wife, the woman he keeps saying he doesn't want to lose? Why is no one asking that? Why does everyone keep making excuses for him? Why doesn't he talk to Willow like he did with Sasha or Chase? Instead of grilling Willow about how many times she's kissed Drew, shouldn't he be focusing on his own marriage? Great, now they're really going there, turning Brooklyn and Dante into Gio's biological parents. Because, of course, why not? But can someone please explain how a grown woman in her 30s forgets 9 months of pregnancy? How else do they justify her not knowing she's Gio's mom? I can buy Dante not knowing. He probably never got the memo that she was pregnant. But seriously, I'm starting to think they're doing everything in their power to sink General Hospital. Someone please help me make sense of this. So yeah, she knows she had a baby, but apparently she's clueless that it's Gio. Maybe Lois is pulling the strings behind the scenes, making sure she knows who the kid is. I can't stand it. Dante, of all people, having a baby with his stepsister? Why do they always go with these ridiculous surprise baby storylines? We just learned that Sasha's actually Robert and Holly's, which was already stretching credibility, and now this? The explanation? She gave the baby up for adoption, so she wouldn't know. She's never outright said she didn't have a kid, but the clues have been there. I guess only she and Lois are in on the secret. And honestly, it's just getting old. Another character tied to Sunny? Seriously? This show's a mess. Anyone else surprised Lucy hasn't sat Molly down and told her there's no shame in not being able to have biological children? Lucy Coe, after all, is practically the town expert on losing pregnancies. Her first miscarriage happened with Jake Meyer, Bobby's new husband at the time, which sparked their rivalry, especially since this occurred right after Bobby lost her uterus. The plan was for Jake and Bobby to take custody of the baby, but then Lucy trips down a flight of stairs. Oops, guess Lucy wouldn't be much of a problem for Bobby after all. Then came Lucy's second pregnancy, conceived in one of her typically convoluted schemes. Desperate to give her new husband, Alan Quartermaine, a child, Lucy impulsively claimed she was pregnant to the Quartermaines, despite not actually being pregnant. After a one-night stand with Scott Baldwin, Lucy finally did get pregnant. But as usual, her lies came back to bite her. Ellen rubbed her deception in her face, and the stress led to another miscarriage. Pregnancy number 3 was Serena Baldwin, Lucy's adoptive daughter. Lucy had served as the surrogate for Scott and Dominique Baldwin, and though her luck with pregnancy had been notoriously bad, she successfully carried Serena to term. But it didn't stop there. Lucy's final pregnancy, though less well-known, occurred with her fiancé, Kevin Collins, after they became engaged in '98. It was another surprise, but tragically, Lucy miscarried after a fall. A few years later, she was poisoned, rendering her sterile and making biological children a thing of the past. However, Lucy found fulfillment as a mother when she married Scott Baldwin. Together, they adopted Serena and later Christina. As for Molly, we'll just have to wait and see if she ever considers adoption. It's worth noting that Lynn Herring has been off-screen recently. Her husband was in his final months before passing, which is why she hasn't been around. While Lucy has plenty of experience with pregnancy loss, she's never been known for her empathy, so I'm not sure she's the right person to have this kind of conversation with Molly. She's all about making things revolve around herself. Maybe now that Lulu's back, she could be the one to talk to Molly. While their situations aren't identical, Lulu was able to use her own egg but couldn't carry her own child. The surrogacy drama she went through might help her relate to Molly's struggles. And speaking of Dante, wasn't it a missed opportunity that he was there for Christina, but never seemed to show much understanding for Molly? Yes, Christina is his sister, but Molly is his cousin, and she's also Sam's sister. Dante and Molly surely had their own relationship, so it seems odd he didn't try to be more supportive of her too. Drew losing Aurora. Now there's an interesting twist. So what's his next big move? ELQ, maybe? I mean, it's not like he's got much left to lose, especially after Michael and Curtis managed to snag his company from right under him. You almost have to wonder if he's about to take a page out of the Quartermain playbook and go all in on a spiteful ELQ takeover. It's basically their thing, right? But wait, does Valentin still control ELQ, or has Ned somehow wriggled his way back into power? I could totally see a good old-fashioned Drew versus Ned rivalry brewing here. After all, Ned and Drew's late brother, AJ, had their fair share of drama, so seeing Drew and Ned duke it out for control of ELQ, that would be chef's kiss perfect. However, for Drew to pull off a hostile takeover, he'd need voting shares from the rest of the family. And let's be real, there's no way they're backing him after how he screwed Michael over. Not unless he's planning on pulling a serious fast one, which, given the Quartermain family dynamic, isn't entirely out of the question. As for the shares Valentin was holding, they were supposed to go back to the Quartermains, right? And Ned? He's been suggesting that Leo, Wiley, Amelia, and any other future Quartermain kids get a piece of the pie, since Edwards will conveniently overlooked them. I mean, no Quartermain in their right mind would hand their shares over to Drew. Heck, I'm sure Tracy's been screaming about what he did to the extended family, especially to the ones who hold shares but don't even live at the mansion. They'll definitely side with anyone but Drew. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.